If variety is the spice of life, your ears must be burning. Welcome to KULT-FM, Everything You and I.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Logan Blackman Show. We are now in hour 2 of this Friday edition of the Logan Blackman Show. This is your mid-show reminder. Usually we do it after the first half hour, but honestly, I forgot. So go follow all the Logan Blackman Show social media accounts. Go follow the Twitter at @the_LB_show. Go follow my personal Twitter, Logan_Blackman. Go follow the Instagram account, Logan Blackman Show on Instagram. Go like the Facebook page, search the Logan Blackman Show, and go follow the Spotify account, the Logan Blackman Show on Spotify. You can catch all of the latest Logan Blackman shows wherever you are. Whenever you want to listen to it, go and listen to it. Right now in the girls' state tournament, Northland is beating West Hancock 50-41. This is to go to the state 2A championship game to take on Osage, I believe. Yes, 4-seed Osage in the 2A state championship game. And right now in the UNI Drake game, Drake is beating UNI 43-33. It is now halftime in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Drake beat Illinois State last night. Valparaiso played Loyola later today. They beat Evansville last night. There, Drake motivated after losing to UNI in the first meeting. The last meeting these guys had to end the regular season. An embarrassing loss for Drake on their home court. Drake has now equaled the same number of points they scored in that last game against UNI. 43-33 is the score right now. The last game of the regular season, it was 70-43 in favor of UNI, and I don't see UNI going on a 40-0 run for the entire second half. So Drake is already outperformed their last game, playing a lot better in this game. Anthony Murphy is leading the Bulldogs in scoring with 11 points on the game. Liam Robbins, 9 points in the game, 4 rebounds and 2 blocks for him. Roman Penn, the point guard, 6 assists for him with 7 points in the game as well. And Noah Thomas, starting point guard last year for Drake, 7 points in this game off the bench. For UNI, A.J. Green leads the Panthers in scoring with 10 points in the game. He also has 2 assists in the game. Spencer Haldeman, 7 points in the game, 4-4 from the free throw line. Isaiah Brown has 8 points. First team all-conference member Austin Fife, 0 points and only 2 rebounds in this game for the UNI Panthers. Scored 17 and had 18 rebounds with 5 assists the last time these two played each other. So it's a little bit of a down game for Fife. Burhow also has 0 points. And off the bench, Noah Carter has 2, and Taiwan Pickford's leading them in scoring with 6 points off the bench. Also has 2 rebounds. Again, we will keep you updated on the UNI versus Drake game throughout the show. Again, halftime 43-33 right now from St. Louis. And speaking of St. Louis, the St. Louis Battlehawks have a game this weekend in the XFL taking on my DC Defenders. The game will be on Sunday at 2 on FS1. It was back in DC, and good Lord, does DC need to go back home? They absolutely got pounded on the road these past 2 games. Lost 39-9 their first road game in week 3, and 25-0 to Tampa last week. Now they're playing the second best team in the league in St. Louis. Thankfully for DC, it's not in the Edwards Jones Dome or whatever the dome is called now, because that would be a guaranteed loss. They already played 2 teams that had 0 wins on the season, got blown out by them. What would they do against the team that gets the biggest crowds in the XFL? Would struggle heavily in this game. So thankfully for DC, it's at home at Audi Field. Also on Sunday, the Tampa Bay Vipers taking on the LA Wildcats. The 2 teams that beat the DC Defenders the last 2 weeks meet up in LA. That game is at 8 on Sunday on ESPN. The St. Louis Battlehawks versus DC Defenders game is on FS1 at 2. The first game of this weekend is against Seattle and Houston. Houston, the only undefeated team in the league. Seattle has 2 wins on the season, playing St. Louis close in their last game. Or I guess Seattle only has 1 win. They're 1-3 on the season. Houston 4-0 with the current front runner for the MVP, PJ Walker. I fully expect Houston to walk away with the victory. There's at 1 on ABC tomorrow. And then on Fox at 4 tomorrow is the New York Guardians versus the Dallas Renegades. Dallas lost last week, are currently 2-2 on the regular season. And right now, Dallas has won both of their games on the road. New York won their second game of the season at home, beating LA. Both their losses have been on the road in embarrassing fashion for the New York Guardians. So we'll see what prevails this week. My predictions for this week, we've got Houston, Dallas, St. Louis, and Tampa pulling out wins this weekend. That Tampa versus LA game is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a very, very tough game. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch it. LA beats Tampa in a close one. I'm going to go after the quarterbacks here. Josh Johnson over Cornelius in this game. Taylor Cornelius for Tampa. So LA wins. I'm going with 3 home wins and 1 away win with St. Louis beating DC this weekend. Fun week, week 5 of XFL action. Now, with that being said, let's just go straight back in to NFL Mock Draft 2.0. Before we do that, we've got to do our free agent QB predictions. Now, free agency opens up on March 18th at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 Eastern Time. So we're only making speculations here, which it's the only way we can do. So right now with free agent quarterbacks right now, we've got most of them, if not all of them. I just did this off memory. I can't remember if there's any more out there. But here's my predictions for where they're going to go in alphabetical order by last name. So starting off with Tom Brady, he just goes back to the Patriots. I cannot picture him going anywhere else. Right now, the Patriots and the Titans are the betting favorites. When this first started, Tennessee was the one that I thought of first. But I can't really see it happening. Ryan Tannehill played very well. I can't see them ditching Ryan Tannehill that early. Yes, Brady and Vrabel have a very good relationship playing in New England with each other, but I think Brady just sticks it out in New England for another season, maybe a couple more, depending on who retires. I don't believe the San Francisco 49ers rumors. I think that's only basis off because he's from there, grew up a Niners fan. If the Niners did that, the Niners screwed up on quarterbacks so many times. You can look at those 2 times as an example with Brady, 49ers fan, pass on him, draft Giovanni Carmazzi in the 3rd round. Do you guys know who Giovanni Carmazzi is? No, you don't. He got beat out by Jeff Garcia, or not even beat out. He just sucked. NFL Network, or NFL Films, finally posted the Brady 6 documentary, which has been on YouTube for about 3 years now, maybe 4. It's been on YouTube forever. I don't know why they just decided to post it now. It's a great documentary. I would fully recommend watching it. It makes you appreciate Tom Brady. I know everybody usually hates Tom Brady, but I respect Tom Brady for the grind that he's put out throughout his career. So, yeah, the Niners with that one, and then they drafted Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers. And, yes, Alex Smith has had a very good career. He's not a first-ballot Hall of Famer like A-Rod is over in Green Bay. Both those guys, A-Rod and Tom Brady, grew up 49ers fans. They both wanted to play for 49ers. Heck, Aaron Rodgers even went to school at Cal. He's from that area. He's from the area of San Francisco. 49ers passed on him, drafted Alex Smith. So maybe this is the 49ers just wanting to get a guy in here like we passed on him. But it doesn't make sense to move on from Jimmy G now. This is so stupid. I don't get that at all. Why would they move on from I don't know. Teddy Bridgewater, I have him going to the Chargers. The Chargers are a very, very, very talented team. Just struggled with injuries last year, and they just need a guy in there to get them over the edge. I think the Chargers will look at a veteran that can get them over the edge, then instead of putting their faith in a rookie. At least that's my gut feeling right now. Tyrod Taylor stays there as the backup. Teddy Bridgewater comes in to start. 2 experienced NFL quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater's going to get paid this offseason, and the Chargers have been linked to him by the Chargers. The thing is, I could totally see them going after a quarterback and keeping Tyrod as the starter until eventually Herbert or Love or Tua comes in to replace them. But I think the Chargers would have other needs on the roster, most notably offensive line. They traded away Russell Okung, got Trey Turner. Great trade for the Chargers. Great trade for the Chargers. Michael Schofield's been a liability at guard ever since he's been starting. So getting Trey Turner in there, a 5-time Pro Bowler, last 5 years he's made the Pro Bowl, just makes so much sense. Great trade. Russell Okung's been hurt 90% of his time in L.A. So, yeah, great trade. Great when he first got there, but he's been hurt ever since he got there. So now we'll see what he can do in Carolina. The Chargers getting an offensive lineman early would be beneficial. Just to keep improving the offensive line, bring in Teddy. You got talented receivers. Bring back Hunter Henry. You looking golden, Chargers. Just stay healthy. Case Keenum goes back to the Vikings just to serve as a backup. Fan favorite in Minnesota. Just go back to Minnesota. You were loved there work out a good backup contract there, backup Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I think it'll work out good for you. Marcus Mariota goes to Las Vegas with the Raiders. John Gruden really likes Marcus Mariota. Have him sit behind Derek Carr. Raiders don't have good backups. They have Nathan Peterman and Mike Glennon, two quarterbacks that are not better than Marcus Mariota. Mariota could push Derek Carr a little bit. There's been this thing on Mariota that he hasn't developed in the 5 years he's been here. He's still developing, which I've made jokes about that for years now. It's just funny to think about now, but I think Mariota and the Raiders would be a good match there. Dak Prescott, franchise tag Dallas. I just think that's a match I think it's just going to happen. They're going to get him back, build the defense through free agency and the draft. But yeah, Dak just goes back to Dallas in this scenario. Phillip Rivers goes to the Colts. I think it's a great fit for him and at this point in his career. Draft a young quarterback to sit behind him, and Phillip rides out the rest of his career behind a good offensive line, talented wide receiver, talented tight end, good running game. Just a perfect fit for Phillip Rivers at this point in his career. The Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill just goes back to Tennessee. There's not a lot of explaining to do there. Got them to the AFC Championship game. Yes, Derrick Henry was the main reason for that, but they would have not have done that with Marcus Mariota as the starting quarterback. He had he rejuvenated what was left of an otherwise dying career, and this is why Miami took so long to get rid of him, because he has this talent there. That's why they drafted him 8th overall. He has the talent, just can't stay healthy, but this year he showed his toughness. He showed his ability to play, and I think he'll just stay in Tennessee. And the last one on this list, Jameis Winston, just stays with the Buccaneers. Franchise tag, look for the quarterback next year, but right now I think Jameis' best option and the Buccaneers' best option is just to keep Jameis. He played on a torn meniscus, I think it was, this past year, and he just got LASIK eye surgery. So we might be getting the best Jameis next year. 30 interceptions last year, but I think he'll be better. Now, I don't agree with his quote that says, look at my stats, I'm straight up balling. Because you ain't balling if you're throwing 30 interceptions. Yes, you led the league in passing yards, but you threw 30 interceptions. So that's not a great look. But I think Jameis can improve this offseason. I think he can be a very good quarterback. So just franchise tag him. Him and Dak are probably going to be franchise tagged. That's my gut feeling on all of this. And Jameis just stays with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So that being said, the reason I put that before the draft is because it helps me better explain my draft picks. By putting quarterbacks where they're going to be helps me decide if a team is going to draft a quarterback, because all of those teams I mentioned, maybe not the Cowboys and Titans, are likely options to draft a quarterback. I didn't mention the Panthers there. The Panthers are obviously another great option there to draft a quarterback. So if you listen to what their owner said, talk to me when Cam's healthy. Yes, they're going with Cam as the starter for this year, but do they go with that for the future? I don't know. The owner did not seem confident with Cam when they talked about it a few weeks ago. So that being said, let's dive right in to mock draft 2.0. I don't know why I don't have any music up. Here, hold on. we gotta get music. We gotta get some music pumped up in here. It's a must. Please don't have an ad. We have an ad. So hold on. We're almost there. Got a little Hershey's ad before this video starts, but here we go. Yes. Mock Draft 2.0 is here. Yes. It's been a long time coming. It has been a very, very, very long time coming. I've said this for like the past month, it feels like, that, wait till this week comes because then Mock Draft 2.0 will be released at this point. And it hasn't been. I've been very bad at doing this. I've been very poor at liking this mock draft, but I like this one. I genuinely like this mock draft, and as we speak right now, Northland beat West Hancock 61-46. The clock's not showing up on the screen anymore, so I'm just assuming they won. But as of right now, it looks 61-46 in favor of Northland. So it looks like Osage versus Northland in the Class 2A Girls State Championship games. Now we got all of our championship games set. And UNI, starting the second half, has scored 2 buckets to get it 43-37. UNI starting the second half. Pretty strong. 18:25 left in the game for the UNI Panthers. A lot riding on this game potentially. Maybe this is where if they lose this game, maybe they don't have the at-large bid. We will have to wait and see on that. But we're not here to talk about that. Again, we'll keep you updated on that as we go, but we are here to talk about Mock Draft 2.0. It's my favorite time of the year, or one of my favorite times of the year, to do the NFL mock drafts. I love looking at mock drafts. I follow them crazily. Daniel Jeremiah, Mike Mayock were my dudes, but now Mayock's with the Raiders, so screw Mike Mayock now. I'm kidding, Mike. I still love you. But he was like the dude. I don't care for ESPN's draft coverage. I mean, you got Todd McShay and Mel Kiper, but NFL Network does it better than anybody. We're just being honest here. Got Rich Eisen, Daniel Jeremiah, David Shaw from Stanford comes in. It just does it better. They just do it so much better. Well, the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, according to me, Mock Draft 2.0, is Joe Burrow. Cincinnati Bengals just makes sense. Joe Burrow set pretty much every record last season well at LSU, the greatest season a college quarterback has ever had. Now, that being said, that's not saying he's the greatest college quarterback ever, but I'm saying he had the greatest season I've ever watched as a college quarterback. Broke the record for touchdown passes in a season, won the Heisman, won the Maxwell Award, won everything. National championship, perfect season, first number 1 overall seed to win the college football playoff. They just did everything. They beat so many times. If anybody else had their schedule, they had like a point-something% chance to go undefeated. And LSU did that. LSU is that good. And the main reason they were that good is because of Joe Burrow's development from year 2 or year 3 to year 4 or year 4 to year 5, whatever. If he was a fifth year, I think he was a fifth-year senior. But the dude is motivated. The dude does not care what you think about him. He's just going to go out there and play. And according to sources, the Bengals fell in love with him when they did the interview. So I think it's a lock that Joe Burrow is wearing the orange and black of Cincinnati next year. But we'll have to see if the Dolphins or the Lions or Panthers try to trade up to get Joe Burrow. We'll have to see. But right now, Joe Burrow, number 1. And the Redskins at number 2 take Chase Young. Yes, there are rumors that they're taking Tua Tagovailoa. This, in my opinion, is just a smokescreen because they are doing what the Cleveland Browns did a few years ago when they said they were going to draft Josh Allen. Trying to get the Bills, because they knew the Bills loved Josh Allen, trying to get the Bills to trade up with the Browns to get one of their picks so they would just get more picks out of the situation. That's what the Redskins, I think, are trying to do here, which would be a very logical thing, which is very logical for the Redskins because they have needs all over the field on defense and offense. They have no offensive lineman. Trent Williams, they're letting him look for trade options. So offensive line, especially in the first round, there's a lot of good offensive linemen. And the Redskins, if my memory serves me right, don't have any second-round picks. So they can fill up some needs there as well. The Dolphins, who are the team most linked to Tua, have 3 first-round picks, too. But I don't think the Dolphins buy it, and the Redskins take Chase Young, number 2 overall. Number 3, we have our first trade. Same as last mock draft, I just have the Miami Dolphins trading up with the Lions to take Tua Tagovailoa with the 3rd overall pick. Hip injury, the diagnosis is overwhelmingly positive in regards to his hip. Durability might be a factor throughout his career in the NFL, but he's got all the talent in the world. Compared to Drew Brees with his accuracy, and he's a left-handed quarterback that actually makes it look smooth. Not a lot of people do that as left-handed quarterbacks. They all look all kind of wonky when they do things. Tua makes everything smooth. Record-setting quarterback at Alabama for most touchdowns in a career. He's just a talented dude. And it's been like the worst-kept secret over the past 2 seasons that the Dolphins want Tua Tagovailoa. Josh Rosen out the door. Ryan Fitzpatrick stays there. Doesn't need to rush into the starting job right away. Ryan Fitzpatrick is good enough to play X amount of games before they're ready to commit to Tua as the guy. Chan Gailey comes in, has a good relationship with Ryan Fitzpatrick, so ease Tua into it. But I think Tua Tagovailoa going number 3 overall to the Lions, or to the Dolphins, is very smart. And the Lions, I think the same thing that the Redskins are doing. I don't think they're going to draft Tua. They're just wanting the Dolphins to trade because the teams in front of the Dolphins know how much they have coveted Tua for the past year or so. It's been terribly kept secret. So the teams in front of them know that. So they're like, oh, we're talking to Tua. We're going to draft Tua with this pick. Scare the Dolphins into a trade to get them to trade up with them to draft Tua. But I think they'll go up to number 3. I read a report that says they are preparing to trade up to number 3 and are going to take Tua. Third over the number 4 pick. The New York Giants, I have them taking Isaiah Simmons, defensive player from Clemson. Now, they have said over the years that Dave Gettleman looks for gold jacket type players. Isaiah Simmons is that. He can do everything on the field. He got interviewed at the Combine. They asked him, what position are you best at? He just said defense. He played literally every defensive position. Like corner, safety, linebacker, D-line, everywhere. He's been compared. Now, I've never heard this comparison before. He's been compared to Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, and Derwin James. That's an edge rusher, corner, and a safety. Who gets compared to 3 different positions? I cannot really see a world where he doesn't get drafted within the top 7 picks, maybe even the top 5 picks. And Gettleman has expressed that he has admiration for Isaiah Simmons, saying defense wins championship games. They're looking for a stud linebacker, do-everything type linebacker. The free agent market right now is not great for linebackers, and they're going to probably overpay if they do want one of those linebackers. So Isaiah Simmons, number 4 pick, you're looking for gold jacket guys. There aren't much more obvious than Isaiah Simmons. Dude can do everything on the football field. Now, I have also read reports they love Tristan Wirfs. This was before the Combine, too. I read these before the Combine even started. So there's been that rumor going around for a while. So they might take Tristan Wirfs here. I think Wirfs is the best offensive lineman in this draft class. I thought that before the Combine. Now he just showed out at the Combine. Now all of those things he did are not what make a great lineman. 40-yard dash time, vertical are not like key lineman traits. Very impressive numbers for Wirfs, though, which makes teams like him that much more. Remember what I said last Wednesday? The prospects that need to have a big combine for the linemen were Mekhi Becton and Tristan Wirfs. Those two showed out at the Combine. Tristan Wirfs showed his athletic ability to play tackle. That was the big reason why we said he needs to have a big day, because a lot of people are saying he doesn't have the athletic ability to play tackle. I think he does. He gave up 2 sacks in his college career. But I think for right now, at number 4, the Giants just take the best player available, and that is Isaiah Simmons. Plays defense. He's just a defensive player. Gold jacket guy. That is what you look for in a football player. As I say, he's just a football player. That's the key thing we have to say. He's just a football player. He's not a linebacker. He's not a safety. He's not a corner. He's not an edge rusher. He is a football player. He's a big-time player. Dude is awesome. I think he'd be a very wise pick to take for New York Giants at number 4. Number 5, we have another trade, and it's not a team you're thinking of. It is the Carolina Panthers trading up from number 7 to number 5, trading with the Lions. 2 picks, 2 times the Lions have traded. First with the Dolphins, now with the Panthers. Just coupling up more and more draft picks. Hopefully to shore up their defense, because their defense sucks for having a defensive head coach. The Panthers, this goes back to what I said a little bit ago about the Panthers. Yes, they're going with Cam as the starter now. How much are they committed to him after the season? The 2 quarterbacks they have that played this year, Will Grier and Kyle Allen, are not future guys. The Carolina Panthers have expressed admiration for Justin Herbert. They have 2 college coaches in, Matt Rule from Baylor, Kyle Brady from LSU, 2 former college coaches coming to the NFL. Justin Herbert would be a great fit for the Carolina Panthers. Big guy, mobile guy, can take a hit. Yes, they can shore up other things on defense, but I think if they want to build towards their future, especially with the owner talking about, talk to me when Cam's healthy. That's a key thing with me picking this. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I don't know if they're committed to Cam long-term, and I don't think they should be committed to him long-term because he's injury-prone. Cam's a good quarterback. I almost say I love Cam. I don't love Cam. I like Cam. But I think for the future, especially with Cam's constant injuries, I think Justin Herbert would be a wise move here. I can envision him playing for the Carolina Panthers. I think at the 5th spot, be a great fit for Carolina for their future. The 6th pick, the LA Chargers, I have them taking Tristan Wirfs. They traded away Russell Okung, got a Pro Bowl guard, shore up that right side of the O-line in the guard spot. Their tackle situation is not great. And I think Wirfs is the best tackle in the draft. I think you got him and Becton And I think those are my two favorite linemen in this draft. Becton with his monstrous size. Wirfs is just a very, very good pass blocker. So if you get actually just a very good all-around blocker, you play both right tackle and left tackle, and you get Teddy in there, you shore up your quarterback spot, you build your rest of your offense. You got your guard, get your tackle. Wirfs gave up 2 sacks in his career at Iowa. That's what you look for in an offensive tackle. Not allowing blocks. Forget the measurables. Forget what he did in the combine. I know that's very impressive. We care about what he did on the field, and he dominated on the field. Chargers taking Wirfs at 6 would be a great pick for them for an offensive line that has sucked for the last 10, 15 years. With the 7th pick, the Lions now up. Take the guy they would have wanted at 3, wanted at 5, Jeff Okudah from the Ohio State. He's the best corner in the draft. Lions' biggest need, corner. Yes, they got a need at defensive tackle as well with Damon Harrison retiring or leaving in free agency, whatever. They need help at corner. They have one of the worst pass defenses in the league, and Jeff Okudah would shore up that spot. Whether they trade Darius Slay or not, Jeff Okudah is a great pick, whether that's with Darius Slay, without Darius Slay, with anybody. He had 0 penalties in college. Just let that sink in. 0 penalties, holdings, pass interferences, whatever. Personal fouls. No penalties. He is the complete cornerback. And I think the Lions would be extremely wise to take Jeff Okudah, whether it be at 3, 5, 7, 6, 4, 2, 1, wherever. He has to be their first pick in the draft. Number 8, Arizona takes CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver from Oklahoma. Get Kyler Murray's college teammate, CeeDee Lamb. Big wide receiver, 6'3", can run block, can catch, can do everything. He is arguably, with him and Jerry Jeudy, the number 1 wide receiver prospect in this draft. Cardinals coach Cliff Kingsbury said he loves the top 3 wide receivers, Lamb, Jeudy, and Ruggs. CeeDee Lamb reuniting with Kyler Murray, last season's Offensive Rookie of the Year, would be awesome for the Cardinals' future. This is Larry Fitzgerald's last season. They just signed DJ Humphries to a big deal to shore up the left side of the O-line. Yes, you can shore up the other positions on the O-line. You can get other positions a little bit later in the draft, but CeeDee Lamb would be an awesome pick for the Cardinals. I can just envision it. I'm close to locking that one in. I'm very close to just locking it in. Yes, offensive line is a very critical need for the Cardinals, but getting more offensive weapons and eventually replacing Larry Legend is big here for Arizona. So now on the outside, you have Christian Kirk, who might run in the slot now. So you got Christian Kirk in the slot, CeeDee Lamb and Larry Fitzgerald on the outside. Who are you covering? Christian Kirk, CeeDee Lamb, former college teammates of Kyler Murray. So they already got a chemistry. Christian Kirk went to Texas A&M with Murray, CeeDee Lamb went to Oklahoma with Kyler Murray. They already have chemistry built up. Oof. Who are you guarding? Who are you guarding there in Arizona? Lamb? Well, then we'll throw to Larry. Oh, you're going to guard Larry? Oh, we'll just chump it down to Kirk. Are you going to guard Kirk? We're going to throw it up top to CeeDee Lamb. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 9 will take the best player available, and that is Derek Brown from Auburn. They need help on the defensive line. Their defensive tackle situation is not good at all. It's not good. They went to the AFC Championship game with one of the best defenses in the league. They just traded away A.J. Bouye. So their main target is probably Jeff Okudah. Because now they lost Ramsey and they lost Bouye. Well, actually, they didn't lose them. They gave them up, so it's not really losing them. But Derrick Jones would shore up a bunch of needs on the defensive line. Their draft is going to be extremely heavy on defense. Extremely heavy. So Derrick Jones, with the first pick, is going to shore up that middle of the defense. With the 10th pick, we have the Indianapolis Colts trading up with Cleveland. So, obviously, trading up, we know this is the quarterback. This is Jordan Love going here at number 10 to the Indianapolis Colts. Sit behind Phillip Rivers, eventually take over for Phillip Rivers once he's ready to retire. So, Jordan Love, we went from luck to love, and we love Jordan Love, who's got probably the highest ceiling out of all these quarterbacks in the draft, according to some scouts. Compared to Patrick Mahomes for his playmaking ability, it's not really saying he is Patrick Mahomes, which is unfair to say that to any young quarterback. but he has similarities to that of Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he threw 17 interceptions his last year at college, but he handled that very well, saying, if I didn't want to talk about it, I wouldn't have thrown the interceptions. This dude is a good quarterback. Very boomer bust prospect, much like Josh Allen the years before. Josh has turned out to be a very good NFL quarterback so far in his career. Was tied with Russell Wilson and somebody else for maybe, I think, Drew Brees for most fourth quarter comebacks this past season with 5. Colts get Love, sit behind Rivers, quarterback situation solved there in Indianapolis. New York Jets at number 11 take Mekhi Becton, offensive tackle from Louisville. Big, monstrous left tackle, help protect Sam Darnold. That's priority number 1 for New York, or New Jersey, whatever you want to call them. They need to protect Sam Darnold. Whatever offensive lineman that is, it's got to be with this 11th pick. Whether you're trading up to get one or not, Sam Darnold needs to be protected. And then you got Le'Veon Bell, who struggled last year because the O-line sucked. You just need to improve your offensive line if you're New York. And getting Becton should be priority number 1. I could see him playing for the Jets. Now, they had some off news with Quinnen Williams getting arrested. So hopefully Becton, who a lot of Jets coach, I'm pretty sure the Jets wanted Ed Oliver. At least that's what it sounded like what Adam Gase wanted. But the ownership picked Quinnen Williams. So we'll see what goes on there. Williams did not have a very good rookie season. Oliver had himself a good second half to his rookie season. But getting Becton, I think that'd be a surefire pick at number 11. Number 12, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, get a number 1 wide receiver in Jerry Jeudy. Now, this is a very logical pick. He's just insane. His route running ability is second to none. He is an amazing wide receiver. Now, there was something that bothered me that I read a couple days ago during the Combine, or last week during the Combine. The way the media talked about him made him sound like he was this 6'3" beast of a wide receiver. He's only 6'1". And when you hear about him talking about Henry Ruggs, it's too small. Henry Ruggs is an inch shorter than Jerry Jeudy, which is weird for me to think about, because when I basically envisioned Henry Ruggs, I just envisioned a tiny guy compared to Jerry Jeudy. But hey, whatever. Jerry Jeudy is a great wide receiver, and getting him in Las Vegas, they need a number 1 wide receiver. They got a very talented tight end. Tyrell Williams is still there. Didn't play a lot last year, but talented. Good running back. Solid enough offensive line. Derek Carr is still there. Derek Carr is a solid quarterback. Now you got Marcus Mariota to back him up, push him a little bit. Jerry Jeudy comes in. The Raiders aren't looking that bad. They're not looking that bad once Jerry Jeudy comes in. 13 with the Browns trading back with the Colts. Take Andrew Thomas, tackle from Georgia. The running back, Nick Chubb, played in college with Andrew Thomas, I'm pretty confident he did. Andrew Thomas, for whatever reason, sometimes dips down in different draft boards. I would say here it's either Jedrick Wills or Andrew Thomas. One of those two. Probably be Wills, but just for the sake of played with Nick Chubb, take Thomas. I don't know. I don't have any other reasoning that. Those two are equal for me, Wills and Thomas. So get an offensive lineman. The Browns are just going to draft offensive linemen. Just like the Jets, they just need to protect their quarterback. Browns' offensive line is not good. They traded away their best offensive lineman to get Odell Beckham. So getting a star wide receiver, but sacrificing the position that's going to protect the guy that gets the ball to said star wide receiver, not a great move, which is why John Dorsey and Hugh Jackson don't have jobs anymore. So getting Thomas in there, shoring up one of the positions on the O-line, very smart business for the Browns. It's going to be him or Wills. That's what's going to happen here. One of those two. 14, we have another trade. It is the Buffalo Bills trading up with the Tampa Bay Bucks to select Henry Ruggs III. Bills need help at wide receiver. Looking at what the Chiefs and 49ers did this season, with the amount of speed they put on the outside with a talented tight end, Bills have a young, what do you want to call him? A young working progress at tight end, I guess you could say, in Dawson Knox. Talented, nowhere near the level of George Kittle and Travis Kelce, obviously. But the Bills have speed on the outside. Look at that, John Smokey Brown. Then you got Isaiah McKenzie. You got Robert Foster. Yes, the Bills could look at one of those big-time wide receivers, but the speed, looking at the teams that went to the Super Bowl who built their wide receivers with speed, this is what it looks like. And head coach Sean McDermott said the number one thing he looks for in a wide receiver is if they can catch. Henry Ruggs had one drop in college. And according to a lot of people, he was the alpha in the Alabama wide receiver room. So now the Bills go into next season with Ruggs, John Brown, Cole Beasley in the slot, Isaiah McKenzie, Robert Foster. That's a lot of speed on the outside. Josh Allen not overthrowing those guys. With the Broncos at 15, I have them taking Jedrick Wills. Best offensive lineman available now that Ruggs is gone. So it's going to be Thomas, Wills, one of those guys will go to Denver if Ruggs is gone. I think the Broncos will look at Ruggs, but there's a lot of talented, speedy wide receivers. Look at Jalen Reagor, you can get in the second round as well. Look at them. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Who else do we got? KJ Hamler's there. So we're going to have some good wide receivers in the later rounds. So build up the offensive line right now for the Broncos. I think the thing with Wills, teams usually look for the position they look for the most, and the most important position on a football field is the left tackle. Because the left tackle, without him, if you don't have a good one, your quarterback's right-handed, they're going to get murdered. I think the thing with Wills is the fact that he's majority played right tackle. So he needs to prove to teams that he can play both left and right tackle, which is why I have him going to 15 instead of higher than Thomas. So I don't know what will go on there. Maybe Wills goes to Cleveland and they get Trent Williams to play left tackle. That'd be the ideal situation, but I don't know. I could flip these two, Thomas and Wills, and not have any concerns about it. I don't really have any concerns about it now. I think Wills is better, but I don't know. One of those two will go to Cleveland. I don't know which one, and the Broncos will take the next one if Ruggs is gone. And with the the Atlanta Falcons at 16, take K'Lavon Chaisson, edge rusher from LSU. Falcons' edge rushing situation last year, atrocious, terrible. Couldn't get to the quarterback to save their lives. You get speed off the edge like Chaisson, you are getting to the quarterback like that. Fastest edge rusher in the draft probably. His get off is insane. So pairing that with the defense that has struggled for the past few years would be huge for Atlanta. Chaisson would solve a lot of problems for the Falcons on their edge rushing. Do we take a break here or do we just keep going? We're going to take a short break. Take a very, 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 very short break. We'll come back. We got picks 17 through 32 to get to. That was the first half of Mock Draft 2.0. We'll come back, talk about the rest of it. Right. Come on. Work. There we go. Oh, come on. This is just taking me off right now. Right after this.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
You've packed the smartphones, headphones, tablets, water snacks, coolers, sunscreen, bikes, skateboards, games, videos, sunglasses.
There's no room for people in here.
Just don't wimp out on the most important thing.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
No, seatbelts. Whether it's a long haul or short trip,
It's a win-win situation.
never give up until they buckle up. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
94.5 KULT LP in your car and online.
Welcome back, everybody, to this Friday edition of the Logan Blackman Show. We got about 19 minutes left in today's show. It's 1:41 right now here in Cedar Falls, Iowa. And right now, just a quick checkup on the UNI versus Drake game. UNI is currently down 48-56. Got it to within 2. Got it up to 50-48, but then Drake started going on a little bit of a run now. Austin Fife starting to pick up the scoring, 9.7 rebounds in the game. Drake just scored a 3-pointer from Logan Penn and now increased their lead to 11. So UNI has got a big uphill battle left in this game. 8:37 left in the entire game. Man, Roman Penn on fire. 20.6 rebounds, 7 assists for the Bulldogs. Point guard just got another rebound for the Bulldogs. So UNI looking like their season might be in jeopardy as of right now. We'll keep you posted once that game gets closer to the end. But right now we got more mock draft 2.0 to talk about here on the show. So pick 17, the Dallas Cowboys have stated they are building their defense through free agency and the draft. And the best defensive player available in this draft currently is Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina, the defensive tackle from South Carolina. Cowboys rebuilding their defense, putting him up with Javon Kinlaw as the face of the new rebuild, I guess. But you got Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith. You could go corner here. Looks like they're losing Byron Jones to free agency, looking like the Raiders are going to be pushing hard for him. But Javon Kinlaw, you can't pass on this guy if he falls to you at 17. If he's there, I cannot see the Cowboys passing up on him. With the 18th pick, the Miami Dolphins select Josh Jones, tackle from Houston. The Dolphins could not leave the first round without an offensive tackle. It doesn't matter who it is. They need to draft an offensive tackle. Their O-line stinks. They traded away their starting left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, who was a first-team All-Pro, I believe, and was a Pro Bowler this year, and let Jawan James go to Denver in free agency last year. So their offensive tackles from 2 years ago are gone. Their 2 starting offensive tackles are both gone. So they need to get an offensive tackle in this draft. Josh Jones is the best one available here at pick number 18. Number 19, the Raiders' second first-round pick goes to Kenneth Murray, linebacker from Oklahoma. Same pick as last mock draft. Raiders need a playmaker linebacker on defense. Defense just was a struggle last year for the Raiders. Max Crosby was a revelation. Came second or third in Rookie of the Year voting for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Getting Kenneth Murray in there at linebacker, who John Gruden described as an alpha male, would be a great pick here at 19. Could see him going to the 12th pick, too. Maybe the Raiders feel that confident about them. They surprised some people last year by drafting Cleveland Farrell last year with the 4th overall pick. Maybe surprised more people this year by taking Kenneth Murray with the 12th pick. So we'll have to wait and see, but they like themselves Kenneth Murray. I think he'd fit perfectly in there in Las Vegas. The 20th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, again, lost Jalen Ramsey, lost A.J. Bouye to their own doing, just traded him away. Need to get a corner in this draft. The best one available right now is C.J. Henderson from Florida. So with the 20th pick, they take C.J. Henderson. So they shore up the middle of their defense and get a good outside corner to hopefully bring back Saxonville and get it back to the AFC Championship game. Looks like they're going with Gardner Minshew as a starter quarterback this year, so we might need to get another weapon for him there. But with this pick, the best player available for the Jaguars and what positions they need is C.J. Henderson at corner. With the 21st pick, the Philadelphia Eagles need help at wide receiver. As we've talked about, they had Carson Wentz, one of the first seasons, I think it was the only season in NFL history, to have a quarterback with over 4,000 yards and not have a receiver over either 500 or 400 receiving yards. I think it's 500 yards, which is absolutely crazy. Injuries galore in the secondary, but I think with this pick, they need to address the wide receiver position. I've heard they love Laviska Shenault Jr., but I think with right now, it doesn't look like he's going in the first round. Didn't perform great at the combine. His speed that he ran in the 40, this is a perfect example of football speed is different than 40-yard dash speed, because Laviska Shenault is faster than the 4.59. He just is. His football speed is way faster than that. He's also been injury-prone throughout his college career, so which will make him drop a little bit. So maybe the Eagles do go with a cornerback here and take Shenault in the second round. Very logical picks there, but I think right now you take the best wide receiver available, and that is Justin Jefferson from LSU. With his combine performance, he locked up his first-round draft pick status. Ran a 4.43 40 when a lot of people had him going in the mid-4.5s. Dominated that. The number 1 overall pick in the draft, Joe Burrow, has said Justin Jefferson is his guy. So if the best quarterback in the draft, best player in the draft, arguably, says that this guy's the guy, I would take him. Justin Jefferson had a great college career at LSU, and Jamar Chase, arguably better, is going to be looking at a very high draft pick next year. So in the next two drafts, we have the quarterback, the wide receiver going one draft, and then the other star wide receiver goes in next year's draft. Jamar Chase switching his number from number 1 to 7, which is like one of the most legendary college numbers in America. The 17, or the number 7 at LSU. Look at all the great players that have worn that. Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, Leonard Fournette, to go on, just to name a few. Number 7's a legendary number at LSU. It compares to that of the number 7 of Manchester United. Grant Delpit wore it this past season at LSU. Jim Thorpe Award winner. Now it goes to Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver in America going into next season. Legendary number. Manchester United, number 7, the most legendary number in world soccer. Number 7 of LSU, probably the most legendary number in all of college football. That number eludes greatness, and he's going to get drafted high next year, so look out for Jamar Chase. But Justin Jefferson for this one goes number 21 to Philly. With the 22nd pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after trading back with Buffalo, take Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle from Oklahoma. They need to shore up their defense, especially in the middle of their defense. They are getting basically everybody on their D-line and edge rushers are leaving in free agency. There are free agents. They are free agents. So it's going to be a period of change in Tampa, whether it be just in general, just a period of change in Tampa. But right now, I think Neville Gallimore will shore up that middle of the defense and help give a partner to Vita Vea in the middle of the defense. They got Vita Vea when they traded back with Buffalo last time. They're getting another D tackle here. Neville Gallimore, extremely athletic defensive tackle from Oklahoma. Number 22, I think, would be a very good pick for Tampa there. I'd also see them staying at 14 and taking Javon Kinlaw, but I think right now Neville Gallimore be a very wise pick for Tampa. Could also see them going offensive line here. At 23, New England Patriots, A.J. Epineza from Iowa. That pains a lot of Iowa fans. Don't want to see him go to the New England Patriots. But he didn't have a great combine, so he's going to drop a little bit. He still goes in the first round, in my opinion, because of the abilities he has on the football field. I think he'd just be a perfect fit. I think he'd be a good fit for the New England Patriots, which is a shame for everybody out there. But you know what? That's what we have going on here. 24th pick, the New Orleans Saints take Patrick Queen, linebacker from LSU, extremely athletic linebacker from LSU. Keep him in state. Saints have a linebacker need. A.J. Klein looks like to be leaving in free agency. So replace him with Kenneth Murray, I think, is the best linebacker. I think Patrick Queen's the most athletic linebacker in this draft. Get him there. Now, you could go after a wide receiver here, but I think, again, with this wide receiver class being historically deep, I think you go linebacker here and take a wide receiver a little bit later to help partner Michael Thomas and get another wide receiver in probably Drew Brees' last season in the NFL. Number 25, the Vikings, I think they'll do two things here. It'll be either lineman or corner. With this pick, I think they'll just go corner. I think they'll take Christian Fulton from LSU, the next best corner in this draft class. Now, they could go family, could do Trayvon Diggs from Alabama, brother of Stephon Diggs, but I think Christian Fulton being the next best corner in the draft would be the wiser pick here. But you know the NFL, they love to do those connection things. Orlando Brown gets drafted by the Ravens, where his dad played. Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers grew up going to the Panthers locker room and everything. Like, you have all these connections throughout the NFL, and they love doing that. So maybe the Vikings do that here, but I think Christian Fulton is the best available corner there for Minnesota. Number 26, the Detroit Lions take Ross Blacklock from TCU. I think they're going to target Neville Gallimore, but if he's not there, Ross Blacklock is the next best defensive tackle. Boomer bust prospect when talking about the defensive tackles in this draft. They have a Damon Harrison-sized hole, per se, in the middle of their defense, and Ross Blacklock would surely fill that hole for the Detroit Lions. Very talented defender, very talented defensive tackle. So you leave the first round with Jeff Okudah and Ross Blacklock. That's a very good draft for the first day of the draft for the Detroit Lions. Sure up the two biggest needs on their roster are now good. For right now, at least. For right now. Hopefully get their defense out of the basement in the NFL. 27, we have a trade. The Seattle Seahawks are apparently looking to make a big-time trade in the NFL, trading out of the first round, and this pick would go to Jacksonville, so they get Yannick Ngakoue, who is getting franchise tagged by Jacksonville, who will be traded. Seattle, losing Jadeveon Clowney, did the exact same thing last year with Clowney, and they don't have a lot of draft picks. So they would send the first-round pick, get Ngakoue, maybe a late-round pick as well, or a mid-round pick for him as well. So with this pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got two positions of need on defense figured out. Now they get the wide receiver, get Denzel Mims from Baylor. Get Gardner Minshew, another weapon on the outside, and the Jaguars are looking pretty solid again. You get Derrick Jones, one of the best defensive tackles in the draft class. And I keep saying Jones. I don't know why I wrote that down as Jones. It's Brown. I keep saying Derrick Jones. Why did I have it typed down as Jones? And it just popped in my head. It's not. It's Brown. Why did I say that? Why have I been saying Jones the entire time? So you get Derrick Brown from Auburn at 9, C.J. Henderson at 20, and then you get a young wide receiver to help partner DJ Chark or Clark, whichever one. Go number 27. I think it's Chark. C.J. Chark. Yeah, that one. Now you got a good wide receiver, good corner, good defensive tackle. Jaguars have a great day one in the draft. Great day one. You can get an edge rusher later in the draft as well. So yeah, Jacksonville winning right now, possibly, in the first round. 28, the Baltimore Ravens haven't really figured out this position since they didn't solve it last year after they let Zadarius Smith go to the Packers. So now the Ravens shore up the edge rusher spot and get Yatir Gross-Matos from Penn State, who a lot of people think has his best football ahead of him. Playing for Baltimore, and it'd be a very solid pick. They're a very talented edge rusher from Penn State. Now you can look at Zach Bond from Wisconsin, Terrell Lewis from Alabama as well as another pick that you could look at here. But I think they could also look at Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen, one of the linebackers here. But those two are both gone. So taking the best edge rusher available in Gross-Matos be a very wise pick for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I could see him going 27 to the Jaguars if the Jaguars want to take an edge rusher to place the outgoing Ngakoue. Very logical stuff there. But I think with them going wide receiver, the Ravens will bounce on taking Yatir Gross-Matos there. The Tennessee Titans, after more than likely losing Jack Conklin this offseason, they're going to need an offensive tackle to help replace him. And that offensive tackle is Austin Jackson from USC. Shoring up one of your sides of the offensive line, you got Taylor Lewan on one side. Jack Conklin looks like he's gone, so then you get Austin Jackson to replace him. If they don't, look for an edge rusher or defensive lineman, someone like that for Tennessee. But if he does leave, which it looks very likely, take the best offensive tackle available in Austin Jackson. The Green Bay Packers, in this mock draft, take their heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers and Jacob Eason. Now, remember when the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers in the first round back in 2005, they had Brett Favre there. And Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years behind Brett Favre before he was ready to take the starting job. Jacob Eason has all the talent in the world to be a talented quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's ready to start right away. I think sitting behind Aaron Rodgers would be the best thing available for him and his career long term. I can envision Jacob Eason playing for the Green Bay Packers. Strong arm, big dude. I think sitting behind Aaron Rodgers would do him a great service. Give Aaron Rodgers a solid backup. They haven't had a good backup to Aaron Rodgers since Matt Flynn. Boyle, who the backup is now, is not ready to go in if Rodgers gets hurt. That's why Eason is a very wise pick here. Could also get a wide receiver here. Aaron Rodgers only trusts one receiver, so T. Higgins could be an option here. But I think right now, Jacob Eason, get your quarterback of the future. Well, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is done. He's not done. But look towards the future with Eason there. And the last two picks, the Super Bowl teams, San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. San Francisco takes the best safety available. Xavier McKinney from Alabama can play both corner and safety. The 49ers, need some help in the secondary. Not saying their secondary's bad or anything. Just get some youthfulness and some athleticism in there. And with McKinney, you get that. He's a versatile player, very talented player from Bama. A great, solid pick for the San Francisco 49ers there. And then with the last pick in the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jalen Johnson, cornerback from Utah. Fills what the Kansas City Chiefs want to do on defense. Chiefs need help at corner, and Johnson plays the type of defense best that the Kansas City Chiefs play. So I think he would be a very good pick here, and had a very lengthy interview with, I think, Steve Spagnuolo. If I remember right, if I read that wrong, that's my bad. But yeah, that is my mock draft 2.0. So let's quickly run through the picks here. Joe Burrow, number 1 to Cincy. Chase Young, number 2 to Washington. Miami takes 2 after trading up to number 3. Isaiah Simmons to the G-Man at 4. Justin Herbert to the Panthers, trading up the Lions. Tristan Wirfs goes to the Chargers at 6. Jeff Okudah to the Lions at 7. CeeDee Lamb to the Cardinals at 8. Derek Brown, not Jones, to the Jaguars at 9. Jordan Love trading up to get him his Indy at 10. Mekhi Becton the Jets at 11. Jerry Jeudy, number 12, to the Raiders. Andrew Thomas or Jedrick Wills, don't care which one. One of them will go there, the other one won't. To 13 to the Browns. Bills trade up to get the speedster Henry Ruggs. Jedrick Wills or Andrew Thomas goes to the Denver Broncos at 15. K'Lavon Chaisson to the Falcons at 16. Javon Kinlaw, best defensive player available, goes to the Cowboys at 17. Josh Jones to the Dolphins at 18. Kenneth Murray, number 19 to the Raiders. CJ Henderson to the Jaguars. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, goes to the Eagles at 21. Neville Gallimore goes to the Buccaneers at 22. AJ Epineza goes to the Patriots at 23. Patrick Queen to the Saints at number 24. Vikings stir up their cornerback spot. Look for them maybe go with an offensive lineman here at 25 with Christian Fulton. Lions get Ross Blacklock to stir up their defensive line. Denzel Mims goes to the Jaguars after Ngakoue goes to Seattle. Yatir Gross-Matos to Baltimore at 28. Austin Jackson replacing Jack Conklin at tackle for the Titans at 29. Jacob Eason, the heir apparent to Rodgers at 30. Xavier McKinney, safety from Alabama, going 31 to the Niners. And Jalen Johnson going number 32 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So there is mock draft 2.0. Give yourself a round of applause, Logan. Yeah, we did it. Finally one that I actually kind of liked, and I don't even really like that one a ton, but it's good enough for me.